we got the last piece that's gonna go into our build. It's an NVIDIA Quadro 4000. It's an 8 gig video card. It's good for a lot of design groups, BIM developers, and 3D modeling, game design. And it's also gaming too. So let's take a look at it. First of all, we're gonna open it up. And the way we're gonna open it, it slides out. Of course, it comes out of this mesh. Take a look. The first thing you see, of course, you're gonna get the drivers, the manual. It's all included in here. Wrapped in here, they give you the extra connections for your video card in case you want to connect the display port to DVI for the older model machines. Extra power for the system. Connections actually, which the power that I purchased already had built in these systems, so I'm not going to need these modules. And in case you need extra power or you're going to give up for the old motherboards, this is probably what you're going to need. Extra connections, 2 display ports. Here's a bridge. Actually, it's not a bridge. It's an external connection for extra videos. Now, here's the big piece of resistance. Let's open it up. Now, this is around $800 purchase. It's a pretty expensive, you do get a lot for your buck. You're getting a big, massive monster, of course. It's demanding its own power, of course. So it's one of those things that you need to have. It's a must-have. Of course, when you get it, make sure you take that little plastic off because throughout time, it melts in the system. It gets hot in there, and it might go into your fan. Now, the fan is pretty quiet and smooth. I mean, NVIDIA says that they got it down fine to fine-tuned. So I can't wait to see this in action. So let's take a look at our build after we're done, and we'll start with the Windows OS. And this will be probably the last part of it. Now, if you notice in the back, there's 4 display ports. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 monitors. Actually, you can get even more if you get more adapters to it. Now, there is a bridge system here where you can actually add the little extra connection we talked about earlier from the motherboard. So when I purchased the MSI motherboard, it came with this little bridge system. This is what I'm talking about. If you have 2 of these CPUs, video cards, you actually could connect them, bridge them to line up each other. And they can sync, and if you want to render for 3D development, you can do that with the bridging of the systems. Now the power itself, it's located in the back. It's just one connection. And when I purchased the MSI motherboard that we talked about earlier on my earlier videos, it comes with this prior connection. Of course, this fits into what I just have here in the back, and it does not require all the connections. It only needs fraction of the connection. So once it plugs in here, you're pretty much ready to go and ready to power. Now this system is pretty solid, pretty light. It's smaller than other video cards I've seen before. I think they're streaming now that they have larger CPU fans, and they're thinking about, hey, maybe it's some time to make a change or technology got a little better. But let's take a look at it on our build, all right? Right now it's a little messy. I'm gonna clean it up in a couple of minutes, and you don't need to just be around to see this clean up. If you have any questions on building yourself a CPU, a machine ready to go for this type of work, this is a designer's machine mostly. They're gonna use it for 3D design, creating games and other stuff. And you can even build and make it playable with video games, because pretty much everything in here is made for arcade. It's a gamer's dream, this system. This is the results of the build of all the parts. My only complaint on this is that it's too cramped for these sausage fingers. I need smaller hands. The only way I had to connect some things, I had to use a couple of tools I have in hand in order for me to get through. The hardest part of this system was the actual radiator itself. I mean, it takes almost 40% of the whole entire system in here, and it's a big fraction of a piece in here. So what I would do is maybe make a smaller one, maybe get a water and cooling system, something simple than this. The cable itself For the CPU fan, it's located on the top of the system. It has to cross through the whole entire system here. So a scale of 1 to 5, I give it a 4. I would cramp certain things, maybe add additional braces for your SATA solid state hard drive. They didn't come with that. You have to buy an additional purchase on that. I'll put some information on the website what you need. Right now, what I did, I just mounted in the top and the bottom. I ended up getting a screw and just screwing it in. I just got to see where it takes me next. So the next part is installing the OS, and this is Frank the Tank signing off.